If you ask the average American how they feel about their financial situation in 2026, many will tell you the same thing. I make more money than I used to, but somehow I feel poor. This feeling isn't limited to one age group, one income level, or one part of the country. It is a growing sentiment spreading across millions of households. On paper, the economy may appear stable. Employment numbers remain relatively strong. Wages have increased compared to previous years. Yet many Americans feel like they are running harder just to stay in the same place. According to Ray Dalio's analysis of economic cycles, this disconnect between economic statistics and personal financial reality often emerges during periods of major economic transition. The question is not why people are worried. The question is why so many Americans feel poor despite earning more than ever before. The answer begins with inflation. Inflation may not dominate headlines the way it once did, but its effects remain deeply embedded in everyday life. When prices rise rapidly over several years, the damage doesn't disappear simply because inflation slows down. The cost of groceries, housing, healthcare, insurance, transportation, and education remains elevated. Families continue paying those higher prices every month. Even if wages increase, they often struggle to keep pace with the cumulative rise in living expenses. The result is a gradual erosion of purchasing power that leaves households feeling financially squeezed. Imagine a family that earned $60,000 a few years ago and now earns $75,000. On the surface, that appears to be significant progress. But if housing costs have increased by 40%, groceries by 30%, insurance by 25%, and utilities by 20%, that higher income may not provide a better standard of living. In many cases, families discover that most of their pay raises have already been consumed by rising expenses. The numbers on their paycheck are larger, but their financial freedom has not improved. Housing remains one of the biggest reasons Americans feel poor. For decades, homeownership represented the foundation of the American dream. Today, that dream feels increasingly out of reach for many families. Home prices remain historically high in numerous markets, while mortgage rates have increased dramatically compared to the ultra-low rate era. The combination of expensive homes and expensive borrowing creates a difficult environment for first-time buyers. Many young Americans are postponing homeownership because they simply cannot afford monthly payments. Renters face similar challenges. Rental costs have climbed significantly in many cities. For millions of households, rent consumes an increasingly large share of monthly income. When housing costs absorb more money, less remains available for savings, investments, travel, education, or other financial goals. People may be working just as hard as before, yet they feel trapped because such a large percentage of their income disappears immediately into housing expenses. Food prices have become another source of frustration. Americans notice grocery prices every week because food purchases are unavoidable. Unlike luxury items, groceries cannot be postponed indefinitely. Consumers may switch brands, buy less, or search for discounts, but they cannot stop eating. When families see grocery bills rising month after month, they experience a constant reminder of declining purchasing power. This contributes significantly to the feeling of becoming poorer. Healthcare costs continue adding pressure. Medical expenses remain one of the largest financial concerns for American households. Insurance premiums, deductibles, prescription medications, and treatment costs have increased steadily over time. Even individuals with good insurance coverage often face substantial out-of-pocket expenses. Healthcare inflation frequently exceeds general inflation, creating additional financial strain that many families struggle to manage. Transportation costs have also increased. Vehicle prices remain elevated compared to historical levels. Auto insurance premiums have risen. Maintenance expenses continue climbing. Fuel prices fluctuate unpredictably. For Americans who depend on personal transportation, these costs are unavoidable. Every increase reduces disposable income and contributes to financial stress. One of the most overlooked reasons people feel poorer is the impact of higher interest rates. During the era of cheap money, consumers became accustomed to low borrowing costs. Mortgages were affordable. Auto loans carried attractive rates. Businesses could finance expansion inexpensively. Today, the situation is very different. Credit card interest rates have surged. Auto financing costs have increased. Mortgage payments have become dramatically more expensive. Americans carrying debt feel the impact immediately. The burden of debt extends beyond interest rates. Household debt levels have reached significant levels in many categories. Credit card balances, student loans, auto loans, and mortgages create ongoing obligations that reduce financial flexibility. Even relatively high incomes can feel insufficient when large portions of monthly earnings are dedicated to servicing debt. Financial stress often results not from income alone but from the relationship between income and obligations. Student loan debt continues affecting younger generations. Many graduates entered adulthood believing education would guarantee financial success. Instead, they often face large loan payments alongside rising housing costs and increasing living expenses. The combination makes it difficult to build wealth. Saving for a home, investing for retirement, or starting a family becomes more challenging when significant debt payments consume income. Another important factor is wealth inequality. Asset owners have generally benefited from rising stock prices, real estate appreciation, and business growth over long periods. Individuals without significant assets have not enjoyed the same advantages. This creates a growing gap between those who own appreciating assets and those who rely primarily on wages. When people compare their financial situation to others, feelings of falling behind become more pronounced. Social media has amplified this phenomenon. Every day, people are exposed to images of luxury lifestyles, expensive vacations, new homes, and financial success stories. These comparisons often create unrealistic expectations. Even individuals with stable incomes and reasonable financial security may feel poorer when constantly comparing themselves to carefully curated online content. Perception plays a powerful role in financial satisfaction. The labor market has also changed significantly. While unemployment may remain relatively low, many workers feel less secure about the future. Technological advances, automation, artificial intelligence, and global competition are transforming industries. Employees worrying about job stability, career prospects, and long-term earning potential. Financial insecurity often persists even during periods of employment growth. Ray Dalio frequently emphasizes the importance of understanding long-term debt cycles. According to his research, economies periodically reach stages where debt levels become so large that they influence nearly every aspect of economic activity. Governments, businesses, and households all face increasing pressure. Growth becomes harder to sustain. Policymakers face difficult choices. The effects eventually reach ordinary citizens through higher taxes, inflation, slower growth, or reduced purchasing power. Government debt itself may seem disconnected from household finances, but the connection is real. High debt levels can contribute to inflation, influence interest rates, and limit future policy options. As governments devote larger portions of budgets to servicing debt, difficult decisions emerge regarding spending priorities. Economic uncertainty increases, affecting businesses and consumers alike. Many Americans are also experiencing what economists call lifestyle inflation. As incomes rise, spending often rises as well. Larger homes, newer vehicles, subscription services, upgraded technology, and lifestyle expectations increase. While some spending improvements genuinely enhance quality of life, Others create financial obligations that become difficult to sustain. When economic conditions change, households may discover they are more financially vulnerable than expected. Retirement concerns add another layer of anxiety. Many Americans worrying they are not saving enough for the future. Rising living costs make it difficult to contribute consistently to retirement accounts. At the same time, longer life expectancies require larger retirement savings. The gap between what people have saved and what they believe they need creates ongoing stress. Parents face unique challenges. Childcare costs, education expenses, extracurricular activities, healthcare needs, and future college costs continue rising. Raising children has become significantly more expensive. Families often make substantial sacrifices to provide opportunities for their children, leaving less room for personal financial growth. The psychological effects of financial pressure should not be underestimated. Constant concern about money affects mental health, relationships, productivity, and overall well-being. Even individuals who are technically earning more may feel poorer because financial stress dominates daily life. The emotional experience of financial insecurity matters just as much as the numerical reality. Technology has produced both opportunities and challenges. While innovation has improved productivity and created new industries, it has also increased competition. Workers must continually adapt to changing skill requirements. Those who fail to keep pace may experience wage stagnation or reduced opportunities. Economic transitions often create winners and losers, contributing to feelings of uncertainty. Globalization has further complicated matters. Consumers benefit from access to global markets, but workers sometimes face competition from international labor forces. Economic changes occurring thousands of miles away can influence local job markets and industries. This interconnectedness creates opportunities, but also increases unpredictability. Another reason Americans feel poorer is that expectations have changed. Previous generations often expected gradual improvement over time. Many young adults today question whether they will achieve the same standard of living as their parents. When expectations decline, financial dissatisfaction increases. The perception of moving backward can be more painful than absolute financial hardship. Financial markets create additional confusion. Headlines frequently highlight stock market gains and corporate profits, yet many Americans do not own enough assets to benefit meaningfully from those gains. This disconnect contributes to frustration and skepticism about official economic narratives. The reality is that feeling poor does not necessarily mean people are poor in absolute terms. Instead, it often reflects declining purchasing power, rising costs, increasing obligations, and growing uncertainty. Financial well-being depends not only on income, but also on affordability, security, opportunity, and confidence in the future. History suggests that these periods of adjustment are not permanent. Economies evolve, new technologies emerge, productivity increases, policies change. Transitions can last years and create significant challenges along the way. Understanding the forces behind these changes is the first step toward adapting successfully. Ray Dalio often argues that individuals who understand economic cycles are better positioned to navigate them. They examine broader trends shaping the future. They recognize that debt, inflation, technological change, and geopolitical developments interact in complex ways. Most importantly, they prepare rather than react. As America moves through 2026, healthcare expenses, higher interest rates, and economic uncertainty, together, these forces have created an environment where earning more money does not necessarily translate into greater prosperity. The feeling of becoming poor is not an illusion. It reflects genuine economic pressures affecting households across the country. Whether these challenges improve or worsen will depend on decisions made by policymakers, businesses, and individuals in the years ahead. But one thing is certain: Understanding why Americans feel poor today is essential to understanding where the economy may be headed tomorrow.